Got the blue bottle blues when you wake up in the night. Don't make a big mistake, 'cause you can never make it right. When you reach out for the vial, feel the ridges in the glass. It's a matter of survival, baby, better watch your back. There is no antidote. 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 There is no antidote.
Hello, peculiars. Well, we have a very interesting show for you tonight, and a bunch of crazy stuff is happening. For instance, Davey's on vacation and in a kitchen and making a super special meal that involves frozen chicken nuggets, which is very exciting, in my opinion. And in addition to that, we have an extra special guest tonight too. Davey, do you want to tell us about your nuggies?
Yeah, when you get down to the last day of vacation, there's only so much food left in the house. So the only protein we got is frozen chicken nuggets. So that's what's in the frying pan behind me right now. We could do a cooking show right now. I can come over here and stir a little bit and
you've got vegetables in there too.
Yeah,
See, it
so
looks
we got
very
it working.
professional. I like it. I think it looks
Yeah.
great. So Davey is in Maine again at the lovely cabin that he has shown pictures of before. And and I have to say, I'm very excited about tonight's show because this is a really wonderfully weird book. And I feel like it's all about like Peculiar Book Club ready. You know what I mean? And speaking of which, we've got a couple people. Sareka says hello. Susan says hi. So guys, come on in, welcome. And before we get too much further along, hello to your children as well.
Oh yeah, the house isn't quiet this time. Last time the house was quiet. The house is not quiet this time.
I love it. I love it. Let's welcome our guest, Sam Kelly. That was your ink explosion.
Hey, Sam.
Hello. Good to be here.
Welcome. And this is the other great thing. Sam is also not at home right now. He is in.
I am in Las Vegas. Yes, I live in Los Angeles. But so fun fact. So we actually prearranged this interview like a year in advance. And so then in between that time, other stuff got scheduled. And I realized that I had booked a trip to Las Vegas for this exact day at the same day that I'm doing this live stream. But fortunately, me and my dad, who I travel to Vegas with, we always leave at the absolute crack of dawn because we don't like traffic, right? And so we managed to get settled in the room at 1 p.m. East, West Coast time, and so I've had 2 or 3 hours to sort of
kind of just
prep
chill
for
out
this and sort of calm down.
Right,
So I'm not coming in all sweaty and dehydrated from a long car ride.
I'm loving this shirt that you have on right now. Are they pineapples?
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff. It's tropical fruits. There's pineapples, there's bananas, and there's some kind of fruit going in a cluster. I don't know if it's mangoes or papayas, but I would eat all of the fruits on my shirt.
It's a very
even if I
shirt.
don't 100% know what they are. All of these are tropical fruits that I would eat. So, yeah, it's all very appealing. And of course, this is Vegas, which, if nothing else, is dedicated to kitsch. And so
completely
this gloriously cornball short seems like a perfectly fitting garment.
If you can't show off your bookshelf behind you, at least you can show off your shirt, right?
At least you can show off.
I know, right?
Yeah.
At the moment, Davey, you've got a green screen shirt. We could play some stuff on top of it.
Oh yeah.
Put all kinds of things on there. We've got people who are traveling too. So Elizabeth is saying hello from Newfoundland.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, I know, right? And the Skeptabrarian made pesto a la Trapanese tonight. I don't think I know what that is. You're gonna have to tell me a bit more about it.
I gotta look that up.
I know what pesto is. Ryan Sadie says hello because Ryan and I forgot to say howdy, and oh yes, and loving the book. So we right, because
Thanks.
it's a great book. I also thought that it was a lot of we did these these little cards for all the books that we did this year. Oh, another one, Mark Hartzman is here. Hey, Mark from New York.
Hey,
Mark's going to be coming back with us before too terribly long too. He's got new things in the works, as you well know.
Yeah, that's right.
But I lost my train of thought. That's okay. It's okay. It was probably not a very good train anyway. But the book really is awesome. And I know what I was saying. The book cards, we made these little cards for the books. And I was asking all of the authors, I said, okay, well, I want give me some strange facts, little things I can put on the back. Give me 3 strange facts I can put on the back of the book. And a lot, they had to kind of think about it. But your book is made for that. So it was really easy.
It's so jam-packed with strange facts that it's almost more difficult to figure out what strange facts do I present as the most eye-grabbing.
Exactly.
There's so much weird stuff.
There is so much weird stuff
that is totally true and utterly hilarious.
Well, and we had a lot of fun making the little video too, because we riffed off of one of your because you got this huge TikTok. Your TikTok really took off because it's a wonderful TikTok. You guys haven't seen it. It's like the book in miniature. You kind of get these little snippets all through. But we got a chance to pick one and had it for our little video, and then we had a great time finding the little crabs and stuff to make it do stuff. It was great. Dr. Brian is giving us a cooking lesson here. So tomato, almonds, basil, garlic, and Parmesan. Okay,
that's a good combination.
So it's a very different kind of. So it's still got the basil, but you got the almonds instead of pine nuts. I'm liking it.
It has a good variety of different flavors. I dig that. I'm a really big pasta fan. Again, I have autism, so I've got certain texture sensitivities, so I can't always eat every there's some dishes where I think oh, in theory that's a really good idea, but I can't actually eat the texture. But at least in theory that sounds delicious.
It works.
So yeah.
And food, we love food, we love all the stuff, but so I want to get started. Before I get started, I will also do some announcements because I always do. But I like to kind of get off the ground with a little bit of a softball question, which is basically, how did you come to write this book? What pulled you in this direction?
Yeah, so this book it started out as being sort of a consolidation of my passion type thing. For a long time, I was just totally fascinated with researching. I majored in history in college. I've always loved history. And so I was really fascinated in looking for quirky stuff behind the scenes of history, the kind of things that you don't really hear in your history classes.
But preach, my friend.
Exactly. But are so much fun. And so for a long time, I had a period where I was sort of kind of trying to figure out what job would work for me, and I was sort of trying to go in between things. But in the meantime, I would post on social media all these things I wrote up about various historical figures, and I'd have a couple people say to me, Sam, this is great stuff. You could put this together and it could potentially be like a book someday if you really get down to business and get a bunch of these stories. And it occurred to me, that sounds better than the things that I've been trying to do. That sounds more like my passion than the things that I've been trying to do. And so over the course of 6 or 7 years, I ended up getting enough material to create a book that has 40 different historical figures or groups in it. And so it was this long-term project where a bunch of people around me told me, Sam, why are you not writing a book? This could be a book. And eventually I figured, you know what, people around me, you might be right. I should write a book.
Here. Well, actually, that's kind of how the Peculiar Book Club got started, because I kept complaining that there wasn't a book show for nonfiction that was fun, where you did fun stuff, and
I get that.
And people were like, you could make one, and so we did. And this actually, we had we've been going, it's our 7th season, and it's our 5th year as a Facebook group too. So we've passed a lot of milestones.
Very nice.
Susan Ballinger said, "What you just described sounds like the inside of my brain." Random facts and trivia.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely. Just
Brian in Atlanta
yeah.
says hello, everyone, too. We've got a great group of people.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's kind of we have such a motley crew, and it's really nice because people from all over the place, people from all over the world. Hi, Abby.
Absolutely.
Abby's here too. Hello, Abby.
Hello.
And they, you know, they really make the club what it is because
Yeah.
we're all just a little bit weird and it kind of cool. Oh, that was you, Abby.
Yeah.
Sorry. Abby says Brian is my husband. Sorry. So that was Abby saying hello.
There we go.
And Skeptabrain says, my brain is chock full of useless information from years of reference work. That is the most beautiful brain, though.
That is glorious. No, I can relate to that on so much. But the question is it really useless, or have people just not appreciated the use you found for it? Right?
See,
you know,
see, that's what I'm saying, Sam. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
so much information it feels like trivia that you just keep around for fun chatter, and then it turns out if you collect enough of this stuff, you actually have enough material to put it down on paper, and all of a sudden you
Whoops.
These things over the years, and it's amazing what turns out to be relevant, right? Yeah, it's like metadata.
Yeah, I think for our audio listeners, I think Sam's hotel internet is glitching just a little bit every now and then, but you're okay, Sam. You just keep going.
Okay, you just keep going. We're good. We're good. Also, it's a minor glitch, I'm happy to say.
Oh, good. Good.
It does make you good at trivia. Skeptabrain says she's kind of a boss at trivia. But you know what else, though? I find personally, so you're in a weird situation. There's a bunch of people you don't know, and you are autistic. And so sometimes it's much easier to be like, people just look at you funny and you think, oh no, I have to talk now. But it's much cooler just to whip out some random trivia and be like, did you guys know? And then immediately the spotlight is off you and it's off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's very nice.
No, I definitely, I've been there.
So where do you go first? When you need to pull one of these names out of your hat? Who's your favorite from the book? Who do you go to first?
My favorite from the first book, like who's
like when someone says we need weird trivia, what do you snap up?
There are so many great choices, but I always think that one of my favorite ones is the fact that Pope Leo the 13th, not the current Pope. The current Pope is Pope Leo the 14th, but the guy who the current Pope is named after loved cocaine wine so much he did a full-page advertisement for it after giving a Vatican gold medal to the person who created the cocaine-infused wine. And so this is again, this guy was Pope. I think he became Pope when he was 68 and was Pope up into his 90s. And so he was a very old guy. But in the history of the Catholic Church, there have been about 300 encyclicals, which are these big letters declaring important Catholic doctrines. And this one guy wrote almost 90 of them. Because he just had so much energy. 11 of those are just about rosary beads. So this is a guy who had so much energy, often for very minute things, and it turns out like he is openly a user of cocaine wine, and even says he carried a hip flask of it because he said it was to fortify him when prayer was insufficient. I
like this guy a lot.
That is probably the. I did not expect that at all. I was like, there's a cocaine loving Pope, like, and this is not just a cocaine loving Pope, a cocaine loving Pope who is still widely respected as a brilliant church father. Like, the current Pope is named after him because he's so well respected in the Catholic Church.
Maybe that's how he got all the energy to write all these encyclicals, right?
That is absolutely how he got.
Took lots and lots of cocaine and didn't sleep at all.
He drank massive amounts of cocaine wine, and the thing was, at the time, you could buy cocaine wine in the supermarket. The same cocaine wine called Vin Mariani. They sold it in the UK and in the US, and Thomas Edison drank it, and Ulysses S. Grant drank it, and Queen Victoria drank it, and all these famous celebrities all over the world drank it. But the Pope was the one who gave a gold medal to the creator and appeared in a full-page advertisement.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Blake's here with me. I think that might be the moral of the story. Like, if there's a theme throughout the book, it's that, like, these people were on drugs, but they also accomplished a lot of stuff on those drugs. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
kind of worked for
that-
some of them. I mean, not in a healthy way, but
Yeah, no, that is absolutely like the people in my book, generally speaking, if they appeared in my book, they had some kind of extraordinary, for good or bad, they had some kind of major historical achievements. They made some kind of very impactful role on history. But again, like sometimes it works out fairly well for them. Like the cocaine Pope, things actually worked out fairly well for, but other people in my book, their drug use was disastrous for them, and in many cases was disastrous for entire societies, if not continents. I mean,
Yeah.
a good example would be like, I mean, Adolf Hitler's in my book, and his massive drug addiction to methamphetamine and oxycodone and cocaine and all kinds of other stuff. That was very clearly not good for the world.
Not
That
good
was
for anybody.
bad
Yeah.
for everybody
That was bad
involved.
for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Abby says Coleridge was fond of his opiates, and that's
Yes,
true.
he was.
He
Yeah,
also got
he's-
constipated really badly from all of his opiates and writes about it a
Absolutely.
lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, he was in my book. And that was such an entertaining thing to do with having Kublai Khan come to him in an opium-induced dream. And so he awakens from his opium reverie and is like, I've got this amazing poem. I got to write this down. And then he gets a visitor at the door. And he is so high that it takes him like an hour to get the visitor to go away. And by that point, he can't remember what the rest of the poem is. So for the rest of his life, he's convinced, no, this is just a fragment. And so it's considered one of his best works, but it's like 50-something verses, and it was supposed to be over 300. He had so much more planned, but then he's like, I forgot it all. That guy ruined my high.
you know, for audiobook listeners, they'll know what I'm talking about. But you get these like memories. Like, I was on this hike when I listened to this story. Like, every time you do that hike, you think back to that story. And I was definitely picking the kids up from the grandparents' house, from my in-laws' house. And I was getting out of the car, listening to that story, and I was walking on the front driveway, listening to talk about
Kublai
the
Khan.
story that was never finished.
The story, as Susan says, real buzzkill there.
Absolutely, yeah. That
I
was
think
his
most
complaint.
Visitors are buzzkill, right? But what I think is so great is I've spent a lot of time. I actually an albatross around his colon. Sadie, you're on fire tonight. You and Susan. Instead of around his neck, the albatross
Amazing.
comes from the other poem that Coleridge wrote, The
Rhyme of the
Mariner.
Ancient Mariner.
Yeah, which also I think probably drugs helped make happen.
Oh, yeah, that poem is ridiculously trippy. I remember
it
thinking, when I was reading on, like, I remember reading it in high school and being like, it's like, did I not get enough sleep last night? Because this is some surreal stuff. This is weird.
Well, most of it. I'm kind of cool. I'm like, okay, I got it. You know, because I the 18th century. This is my period. I studied this. I got a PhD in it. I'm like, yeah, okay, this tracks. But then the blessed slimy serpents. There was like some stuff that just appears all of a sudden. I'm like, I think drugs did that. I think that was drugs.
Yeah, no, it gets seriously strange. It gets seriously strange.
It does. With our drink. Yes. So this is your book cocktail. First of all, everybody, a round of
Ooh.
applause, please, for this beautiful image that Kat is our drinks maven, and she created this. Look at this gorgeous picture. Everybody clap. It is
Wowza.
Fantastic.
It is pretty awesome. It's so, like, I feel like you could frame that. Like, that's art. Anyway,
Yeah.
the name that won, because we all vote on this over on the Facebook group, is Mystic Mayhem Juice. And it's got all kinds of crazy stuff, including Kool-Aid in it.
Nice.
So experiment,
It was-
basil, Kool-Aid.
It was a good
Nice.
battle for this one. The runner-up was Astronomically Lime.
Yeah, that's right.
There's some good names in there. Some good names.
There was.
All right.
And then next, Davey,
Last
you're
but
up.
not least, the Peculiar Movie Club is still going slowly. We're behind a few months, but I really wanted to have our May episode recorded before we went on vacation. The Godfather. But me and Darren just couldn't connect, so we're gonna probably record it very soon. Very soon. Look forward to it. And I gave me the time to do a full deep dive. So not only have I watched The Godfather, I watched The Godfather Part 2, and then I watched The Godfather Part 3. And I've been watching YouTube videos on the background and the history of The Godfather and the making of. So I'm turning myself into a Godfather expert. For June, we're still planning on doing the Brilliant Minds TV show, and I'll let you know what episodes we end up picking for that. For your book, Sam, I mean, a drug movie, like there's so many to choose from, right? We could have done Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke. We could have done.
Yeah, I do see that you have picked a hard-hitting one.
Yeah, from everything I read, it just seems like Requiem for a Dream seems to be the most accurate to the experience of taking drugs.
That is a experience of people doing hard drugs and destroying their lives. I mean, that is a good example of the kind of thing where, like, my book sends the message that drugs are tools, and this is an example of people horribly maiming themselves with those tools. Requiem for a Dream is a sad movie. I mean, it's a well done movie, but it is rough. I mean, it is a tough watch.
So it might not be the most enjoyable one, but you know what? It's going to be an experience that we're all going to go through together. Maybe you already went through it. Maybe you watched it in college. I don't know.
What I think is interesting is that Davey's like, I had a choice between Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke and Requiem for a Dream.
I really wanted to do Cheech and Chong Up in Smoke, to be honest, because I feel like that's the Godfather of taking drugs movies, maybe. But like,
I mean, that's just like a dichotomy, though. It's like, well, we could have Hogan's Heroes, or we could have Come and See. So either way, like,
Jacob's Ladder,
yeah. Oh my God. You made me laugh so hard that now my face hurts.
Stay tuned. You got to subscribe to the podcast feed if you want to hear these. But stay tuned. Me and my podcast partner Darren do real deep dives on these.
Actually, please do subscribe to the podcast. Our podcast is really fun. We actually do several different things. We do these shows appear as podcasts. We also do the movie club. I say we. I don't do the movie club. But the collective we does the movie club.
Yeah.
I do the mystery club. So I interview people who do true crime and mystery novels, and I haven't done that in a little while because my life has been sort of upside down lately, but we do that as well. And I also do upcoming new releases. So sometimes where something's coming out and we plan so far ahead for our shows, we can't get them in for a video show. So what's fun is actually Sam appeared on our podcast as of a new release last year, and then he's come back to be with us. So and that does happen with some regularity where, you know, we bring people back in when we can. So it's a great place to find new books. It's a great place to see cool stuff. And I just think movie book crossover stuff is just super cool and fun. And I love the movie club, and I'm glad we do it. Yeah, it's awesome.
And we get into themes. We find the themes in your book and connect them to the movie. We try. Yours going to be interesting because it's a lot of stories. So
it is.
Oh yeah.
The theme is that this has never stopped throughout history. That's really the theme.
No.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Oh, and Sadie says we can watch. Sadie says you could watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas too.
That one, that is a good one. That is a good one as well.
The final scene of that one messes me up. You're just kind of like, oh.
Yeah, that strikes more of like it's still a really messed up movie, but there's more comedy in it. Whereas Requiem for a Dream is like a very well done movie, but it kind of like repeatedly punches you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Abby says you could have done Dazed and Confused or nothing. Dazed and Confused.
We could have. Yeah. What's the one with Seth Rogen? The Pineapple Express.
There's Pineapple Express. There's Half Baked with Dave Chappelle.
That's right. Now,
there's alcohol in your book too. We could have done like I'm just thinking Bad News Bears, and the coach is just drunk the whole movie. I'm sure there's better drinking movies than that, but that was the first one that came to mind.
I love the fact that now everyone is listing every kind of electric Kool-Aid acid.
Oh yeah.
Kool-Aid. Cool.
Yeah. It's like Ken Casey was in my book. That absolutely is like relevant.
Yeah.
They were traveling around the country in a rainbow painted school bus, giving LSD to people. I mean, they're pretty much the reason that that hippie fashion existed as it did. And plus, you've got Ken Casey. He was having these LSD parties at his house. Not far from, it was very close to Stanford, and the Grateful Dead were from Palo Alto, and so they were the house band at his party, and that's where they got their start, was performing at like LSD parties thrown by Ken Casey in the woods near Stanford.
Do you know what? There are times when I sort of feel like there's a whole, like, I just have had such a safe life. Like, I'll never be at a Grateful Dead concert in the woods at an LSD party.
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
To be fair, most people weren't. You had to be in the know and like know Ken Casey and his buddies, and from there, they would go out and like evangelize psychedelics to people and just give out drugs for free. But at that point, it was like and honestly, you probably wouldn't even want to go to those parties anyways, because this is not like this is not what I would consider an ethical thing to do, but it was very early in the process. They would dose people with LSD who didn't like know it. They would just drop tabs in the punch bowl, and it's like, oh, surprise, you just ingested a full tab's worth of LSD, haha. And also there's tons of day glow paint and weird flashing lights to try and freak you out. They were absolutely trying to freak people out there, but it was supposed to be
but there's a fascinating science behind LSD too, and the things that they were trying to use it for. I have never, I didn't have cool friends. Actually, I didn't have friends. That's part of it, but not as a child anyway.
Yeah.
Not as a
I get that. I get it.
I did have a friend who, now if I wanted marijuana, which I am allergic to marijuana, so actually I don't want marijuana. If I wanted that, my dad grows that stuff, like, and it's legal now, but so it's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, if I wanted something that was homegrown. But as far as LSD parties, that was not in my wheelhouse, nor coca wine, though it sounds very intriguing.
Yeah, I mean, that was the coca wine was very much like a 19th century and the very beginning of the 20th century thing, because after that they started cracking down on cocaine more and started illegalizing it.
Well, people just chewed coca leaves like we do coffee. I mean, that in the where coca leaves live.
Oh, right? And in Peru and Bolivia and such, that's still normal. People kids do that, and it's not considered weird or dangerous to them.
Right. Well, also it's not highly refined either, so it's not quite like you're taking a. We like to make it like worse. We get it and make it super worse.
Absolutely, like a chewing coca leaves. That's maybe 5% at most cocaine by volume. So it's a very small amount of cocaine.
Microdosing.
Like they're basically microdosing it, and it helps stave off altitude sickness, helps people work for longer, helps reduce hunger. So it's
you
been
can write all these encyclicals.
It's very useful. It was very useful in all these like agricultural pastoral communities for people just to get work done. But then a bunch of European scientists realized, hey, we can concentrate this stuff and turn it into a very, very potent, a very potent stimulant. And this stuff is fantastic. So for a lot of the 19th century, they were just putting it everywhere. I mean, that's where that was how Sigmund Freud got into it. When Freud was getting into cocaine, and Freud did cocaine for like 12 years cocaine. On an almost constant basis, right? when it starts out, he would just send letters to pharmaceutical companies saying, hello, I am a respected member of the medical establishment in Vienna. Can I please have some free samples of your product? And the chemical companies would be like,
I love this idea.
Top purity cocaine to this guy just endlessly. He never ran out of cocaine to the point where he thought it wasn't addictive because he didn't actually run out of it.
Because he didn't ever have to. He was always taking it. How do you know? It's like, do fish know they're in water? Isn't that the fish?
Pretty much,
right?
Pretty much, exactly.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Oh, there are cocaine. Susan Ballinger was just saying there's cocaine eye drops, right? And
yes,
that's a paralytic. Like they use that to do eye surgery and all kinds. Imagine eye surgery before we could paralyze your eye. I mean,
horrifying.
I worked in a medical history museum, right? So like we did a lot. And Davey's been to this medical history museum. I used to work there, and there's a lot of like, oh, your sound's not on, Davey.
I think you mean the torture museum.
Torture museum.
Yeah, pretty
that one.
much.
Yeah.
I used to do these tours would come in and I would demonstrate how to saw off a leg, and then I would tell them like, "And you're awake." Because we can't do anything about that. Sorry, there's no anesthesia.
Yeah, no, the fact that most of history was before anesthetic for surgery, but people still did surgery in those times, and it was a gruesome meat grinder procedure. Just
So you'd want
absolutely
drugs.
horrifying.
You know, like if you could get the drugs, you'd be like, yeah, I'll have some. I mean, that's what drugs. Drugs are...
the development of anesthetic was a huge win for humanity.
Totally.
Absolutely.
And I have to say, like, I didn't really think about it that much until I had my first root canal. And then I was I'm glad I don't feel this right now. Like, after feeling it, I'm glad I'm not feeling it at this moment. So you don't really think about stuff like that until you have something sort of catastrophic happen. And then you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's truly something that would be painful enough to break your mind just becomes like a dull ache. And
like,
it is extraordinary how that is one of the truly great developments in modern medical science is the creation of, because up until anesthetic exists and is widely used, and I think ether is one of the first anesthetics they used, because funnily enough, people had actually been using ether to get high at parties, and then the people at the parties realized, wait a minute, a bunch of our friends at these parties will get injured and not notice it at all.
Know it,
and they'll feel no pain. And some of those guys, because they were mostly highly educated people, some of them were doctors, and so they're like,
sure.
What if we give ether to a patient, and so then it turns out that all of a sudden you don't have to do surgery as fast as you possibly can because you're sawing into some screaming awake person, but instead the person's actually not awake, so you can take your time and do things like use precision and be careful. And that was like a new thing that had not been possible up until then.
And it's what's fascinating to me is that you know, we had, I mean, whiskey was like, basically, if you were going to have surgery, someone would dose you with some whiskey. I mean, so we even had, even early on, alcohol, drugs, the usage it wasn't because people wanted to be drug addicts. You know, and I think that's another thing I got out of your book is that people didn't go like, I would like to be an addict and so take drugs. It was for something. It was part of the culture somewhere. It was doing something people didn't know was dangerous. There's all sorts of reasons that people got involved in these things. And then of course, you know, there are plenty of people who knew better and knew not to, who did, but like early on, nobody knew stuff was dangerous. I mean, like you said, cocaine was in laudanum. You know, you'd give basically hard drugs and alcohol to babies to make them stop crying.
Yeah, they would combine opium and they would combine alcohol and they would sell it in just about any corner store, barbershop. Like, it's like, hey, is your baby teething? Give them a few drops of this. Like, it was just used for everything, and there was no way. It's like, they say take a few drops, but nothing stops you from swigging half the bottle.
Right,
you know,
of course.
There's not really any measures to prevent you from wildly abusing this incredibly powerful drug you have.
I have this memory, and Davey, you can maybe jump in. This must have been from something, I feel like it was a book club related memory, but where somebody was talking about their dad gave up alcohol, but then would go through like 6 bottles of cough syrup.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but sounds like
that
something that would come up on the show.
It does. Well, Peculiars can let me know if that's true. Well, I just noticed, because we're having such a good time, it's already the half point, and